So let's bring in the Hornet. Perfect. I'm going to switch from lip PBR to Metcap, and now we can get going. How would I make this shape? I think I'll try a tube. It's always kind of tricky to figure out, these shapes, how to get these shapes exactly like they're supposed to look. But that's also the fun. That's also the fun part, I think. I think what's most difficult is just trying to think of the most efficient way to do it. That's what can be difficult. So I'll use a line just so I can stretch them more that way. And it's just mirrored, so I can move them closer. Okay, now I think this is probably just more like that. But I want to make it a little more ovular. You know what? Ovular. I don't know if I've ever used that word before in my life. You know what? These are probably angled back. Let me move the pivot point down to the bottom. So I can angle them back. And I think there might be rotated a bit. Like that. I think that makes more sense. Kind of have to envision what it would look like on its side. I mean, I could probably find it, but I'm not that concerned because I just want it to look good. I think it's good to use a character for like a basis, even if it's a really cool character. Sometimes it's cool to do the whole character exactly like it is, but I think it's far more beneficial to keep it like kind of interesting. Put some of yourself into it. When you think to certain like artists and like certain artists have a certain style, the reason they have that style is because they're not trying to copy someone else's style 100%. So that's where the beauty of it is. I think that's pretty good. I think I like that. I think that works. Let's go ahead and validate this. We can always adjust it or do it again later if we need to. Let's take trim. I'm just worried about this curve part. Now, if I smooth it, it might do that on its own, but I'm not sure. So let's try it. Oops. I have to make sure that when I validate the mirror, I put it back to join children. And this is really small, so I'm just going to voxel remesh this maybe 200. And we'll take this and voxel remesh them together. Maybe at like 250. I probably should have smoothed them out first here. Or not smooth them out, but save myself a little bit of pain. I feel like I'm not quite getting the right shape, but I might be able to do it once I voxel remesh them together. So we'll see. So we'll do this at 250. We'll go ahead and smooth everything. I'm going to turn symmetry on. Smooth it really good. Sometimes, like if it still looks like it's not smooth enough, sometimes I might just voxel remesh it again. I think that looks pretty good. I really want it to look unified and like it's one piece. Okay, I think that's actually pretty good. It looks like there's a little, this is a little straight, so I'm going to take move and I think I need to do something like that. I'm going to make it bigger so it's more of a smoother separation. But I think that looks pretty good. I feel like the bottom part can be a little more straight on. Okay, I think this part might be a little too big. So what if I take move and I stretch out? Let's take the mask. Select mask. We'll blur it. I guess we could just try to stretch it this way. It seems a little bit better. So we'll clear that and then, ooh, that does not look great. Let's see if I can smooth it out. If not, I'll just undo and go back to the tube tool. See, that doesn't look great to me. So that's okay. But I feel like it looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to go back here and make those changes for the things that I wanted to change. So what did I want to change? I think I'd like to adjust this a little bit. Like so. I think I'm going to make this a little sharper at the bottom. And maybe make this a little smaller since I felt like it was a little too long. And make these longer. Separate them. Oops. Oh, did I? Oh, I didn't. They're not mirrored anymore. That's okay, I think. Let's just stretch them. Okay, so I think that might be a better shape. Let's do that. Let's stretch this one a little bit. Oh, that feels better. That feels good. That feels good. Okay, so now I'm going to take these. Let's do a quick save. Now I'm going to voxel remesh these together at 250. Actually, I'm going to do 200. And we'll take a look at the points. Okay, not bad on top. I did 200 instead of 250. It should smooth a bit easier. I'll turn symmetry on with smooth. So they should smooth a little bit easier. Yeah, that looks way better. Way better. Looks nice and smooth. And now I want to take move. Okay, that seems pretty good. I feel like there's a little more space in the middle. But then again, I'm just kind of going crazy. I think it's fine. Okay, so now I'm looking at this. I kind of want to see if I can pull this out a bit more. Kind of make this a little bit more even here. If that makes sense. Or am I just going too crazy? I do go crazy with details. Make sure that looks good. Yeah, the middle looks all right. Okay, I like that. I'm just going to save. That looks pretty good. I think I can work with that. So let's go ahead and I'll do a cylinder the same way I did it before. So we'll just do snap 90. Oh, wait, which way is the... This is the front. Okay, so I want to be looking at the left side. Oh, you know what? I want to try something out. Since I can. I want to try something out. Sometimes I think like, what if there's a much easier way to do it? After I've already done it. It's like a very normal thing for me to consider. I feel like this would be a little bit more. Oh, see, this is like. Let me make this a bit wider. That might be better and easier, right? Let's go to my gizmo and move it over. Actually, let me turn on the grid for a second so I can move it to the middle. Turn that ugly grid off. So we'll take this sphere and move it down. Match this up a little bit better. Okay, let me think. If I validate this, and the top is fine. We don't need to see the top at all, I don't think. But if I take the bottom, is that better? That might be better, folks. Oh, this isn't a mirror. Let me take this out. I don't think I need that part. Oops. Trying to get rid of it by smoothing instead. I think that might be more clean. Right? What do you think? I kind of want these to be flatter for some reason, but I think they look good. So I'm going to validate these. And maybe we'll, instead of voxel remeshing, we'll just subdivide once. And then we'll voxel remesh this together at like 215. I didn't need to do that high, but that's okay. And let's try smoothing this. Oh, there's a little bit of like, there's a little bit of that. So I'm going to let's just use move actually. But let's change symmetry to the X and the Z. So I'm just kind of stretching this out so it's an more even. So when it smooths, it's a little bit more even. I think that should do the trick. I'm going to change this back to just X. And let me pull this out a little bit more. Maybe I'll make this smaller. Okay, see, it's a bit smoother, so that should come together a little bit better. There might be a little bit too much on the bottom, though. Less lumpy. Okay. So now which one looks better? It's hard to know. They're both around the same size. We'll go with the new one for now. They're both pretty good, but... Okay, so I think I'm going to rotate this. Let me change the pivot down here, and then I want to rotate this back a little bit. And I think it needs to have a little bit of a bend in it. Either like that or like this. I think like that. Okay, so now we'll go back to the cylinder. We'll mirror, move it over, stretch it. Rotate. And I think we can rotate them out a little bit. So what's important here is just getting the space around the eyes correct. So I might have to do this a couple times, but I think that looks pretty good. I think that could work. Let's take a look at X-ray, see how deep that is. Okay, so if I use, so this is the head, let's rename this head. Eyes. I'm going to validate this, join children, that's fine. I might have to turn, let's see what happens if we turn smooth shading off for the head. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. It's a little weird up here. Definitely a little weird up there. But I'll show you why. If you saw the other one, then you know why. But if I take these, if I hide eyes, Boolean, Boolean. This is the only problem. So if I turn smooth shading off, it's going to look nice and clean. So I guess I'll just leave it off. All right, let's turn X-ray on. Let's add a sphere. This is what I usually use for to blacken out the eyes. Okay, I'll validate that, and I'll just use move, and I'll push it. So again, this is just to paint black, to kind of give the eyes, so the eyes are black, deep within. Okay, we can go ahead and paint this black. We'll take it off of X-ray and just take a look. Okay, perfect. So we'll do a quick save. And obviously this sphere, this is eye black. You can subdivide it or whatever. It doesn't have to be, doesn't matter how big it is. You're not really seeing anything. So I'll just make it as small as possible, and it's fine. Okay, so next, because we should do the body. I don't know what the top of the body looks like, but I think I'm going to use tube. Or maybe I should just use cylinder. Maybe I should just use a cylinder. Might be easier. Only because with a cylinder, it'll just straight up and down. And I don't think there's too many like curves. I don't know what's going on under there anyway, so I think a cylinder is fine. That'll just help with my symmetry. I think it's going to be about that long. Let's see. So here's the head. So the torso is like a little bit shorter than the head. So maybe around there. Oops, let's just use this. So we'll make it thinner. And yeah, I guess I don't know what that looks like. But that's fine. So now we have that. The shoulder. We have some hips here, which is kind of funny. I guess we'll just use cylinder, I guess. We'll just use a cylinder. And then we'll do some tubes for legs. Okay, so now I also have to kind of think about the pose, but I guess I'll just get the limbs first. How can I make this thing go away right now? There we go. Okay, so they're just kind of long. I think I like the long and pointy, just long and like... Okay, so I think I need to think about the pose. Okay, so if it was kind of like this, this would be the body and the neck. Maybe I should have used a tube. It's easy to kind of get lost when you don't have the reference. Like, you know, I don't know what the character looks like underneath the cloak, but that's also the fun part because you just have to figure out what you want to do and what looks good. So this pose would be... I feel like it's kind of like this. The hips would be like here. Oh, I need to do all of these actually. I guess I don't really have to match that hardness on the hip, if I'm being honest. But if the needle is behind, then maybe this is the opposite. Maybe this is like this instead. So used to that being on the bottom. I need to move this reference up a little bit because it annoys me when it's covered. So I could actually, if I move the pivot here, I could cross them. But it looks like there's some semblance of an actual, the bottom part of the leg there. So if I was doing like a human leg, it would be more like this, and this would be like a little bit bigger. Maybe there's even a curve here. Kind of like that. But I don't know if that's too much. I feel like that's too... Take everything and bend it forward. Maybe back a little bit is better. Okay, so let's take this leg and we'll clone it. I guess I can't flip it to the other side. So you know what we do? We take this tube, we'll hide it, and then we'll just kind of figure out how we want this leg to look. So this is the clone version, but maybe we want this to be... If we want it to be crossed over, it would be something like this. Let's just see what it looks like. If we validate symmetry, flip object, and then bring the other one back, this looks silly. I'm gonna move this pivot back up. Hips. I hate when I accidentally hit undo. It's the worst. Okay, that seems a bit better to me. There can be a little bit of a butt there, right? From other fan art, it looks like this character is supposed to be female character, I think. I saw some like other art and she had like very feminine proportions, but I don't know actually. I'm not sure. I'm just going to validate this because I want to be able to move it. Make move big so it's nice smooth. Okay, I don't want them touching, but that looks kind of nice. That looks kind of nice. So the legs are a bit tilted, so I'm going to tilt. Wait a minute. Here's the sphere. I want to tilt the hips to match. And we can take these and make sure that they're nice and smooth into the hip. Okay. And now for this, yeah, we'll do something like that. Make it a little thinner. Even that out. This part, we can get rid of. Oh, is this the legs? Oh, that's the legs. That's what I'm seeing. Let's go to the legs and just use smooth and get rid of that top bit. Okay, that's better. Okay, so for the arms, we'll use a path. I can't see the other arm. You can only see this one, so if something is going straight across this way, then this arm doesn't have to be too much out of the way. I'll start here. And the hands go down to probably about mid-thigh. Okay, so if we're looking at the front, we need to rotate this out a bit. It's about there. Whoops. We'll go to the squiggly, and now we can, even though you can't see it, I mean, I like to kind of connect this. Because if I need to cut it and make like a really skinny neck or something, at least I can do that later on. So the shape of the arms are really, really thin. So let me do radius for all of them. I feel like this would be smaller. Make this one smaller. Wait, why doesn't this have one? I'm so interested, confused actually. That's so strange. I don't know why that node doesn't. Oh, this one. Oh, I see. So here it is, but these are. I don't know. I'm actually confused. That's okay. So this is going to be really small. Nope. Let's get rid of that. Maybe I'll make this even smaller. Okay, that feels nice, I think. It looks a little small compared to the legs though. But I might have to make the whole body a little bit smaller, to be honest with you. Let me just go to Gizmo and just make this whole thing a little bit bigger. And then I think I want to make... So this is leg A. This is arm A. Hips. Cylinder is body. Tube is leg B. Okay, let B, body, hips, leg A. Oh, it's not in the center. That's kind of annoying. That's okay. We'll make everything a bit smaller and move it up. Okay, this arm. Do I want to validate it? I'm torn right now. It looks kind of good, but I'm not certain if I like the placement. And it looks a little long too. I could just use the gizmo and adjust the pivot. If I kind of make it so the pivot is like pointing down straight, then I can just take the pivot off and I can make it smaller this way, which I think looks a bit better. This, I think I want to go like... Let's bring the hips and the legs up a bit. Okay, so I think I want to take the arm. Let's do a line. I think I want to move that more into the body. I think that would make more sense. Yeah. So now for the other arm, I'm just going to clone this one, hide the other one, and now figure out how I want this arm to be, since I can't see it, but I feel like it might be very similar, but it might come out. Sort of like that, and then sort of go around this part that we can't really see. I think I like it. I'm just going to validate it and symmetry and mirror it, and then bring the other arm back. I feel like it looks decent. This arm might look a little bit longer. I can always use move and just adjust it as I need. That looks pretty good. I like it. So I'm just going to validate it, otherwise I'll just keep coming back to it forever. So this shoulder, I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to bring this in a little bit more. Can't see the neck, but I feel like I'm going to make it thinner. Something like that feels decent. So now for the cape. Let me save this. I think I'm going to do the cape. Probably going to make an extra tutorial out of the cape, because I feel like everyone wants to know about the cape. So, the best way to do it, they look fairly even. Brainstorming, brainstorming, brainstorming. Okay, so the first part, let's just do a cylinder. We'll bring the cylinder down to about here. We'll bring this part in. Okay. And then we want to do whole, like so. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker for now. I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to clone this and just hide the clone, and that's just going to be a backup. So I think that can work. And actually, since I have a backup, I think I'm going to make this a little bit, the hole a little bit thinner. And let's do a quick save so we don't crash and I have a meltdown. Okay, so next, we could do, I think it has to be a cylinder. Bring it down, we'll make it as wide as we want it to be. Thick. Let's add some, I want to make it linear, so we'll do that. Maybe I'll add another post subdivision just to give us some resolution. Okay, so let's validate. I should make a copy just in case I have to come back to it. So I'm going to clone this, and this will be cape backup. I'm probably just going to post this as it is, because otherwise this editing is going to be crazy if I try to like go back and pretend like I'm doing everything for the first time. Whoops. Okay, so this is the collar. Cape, collar, cape. So I'm going to validate the cape. Symmetry. Radial. So we're going to enable symmetry. X. Let's do local. Can I raise this up some? How do I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I do 7? Oh, they're just across. Okay, so top and bottom. No, that's not right. Oh, you can slide it up. This looks like it was what I need, but I don't think it is. Because now the symmetry is going to be for the top and the bottom. I really need the symmetry to go around. So this isn't gonna, it's not gonna work the way I want. Well, it actually kinda does, to be honest. Kinda does. Can I bring this up in the middle? No. That green is because both sides are like, you can't even see my hands, can you? The green is because the green is like the inside, so this is the top of the cylinder and this is the bottom of the cylinder. But underneath the top is green, and on the top of the bottom is green, so that the green parts are inside. So what I'm doing is going like this, so then you're seeing green because you're seeing the bottom of the top part and the top of the bottom part. So that's not going to work. So what I need to do is just do X and Y. Can I turn that off for now? So X and Y, and let's see if I can just bring the middle up. Oh, it's still not working. Okay, so I think what I need to do is, let's see, radial, show line. I need to not use the green anymore, so maybe if I voxel remesh it, let's try that. Let's try voxel remeshing this. Oh, I wonder if I had to voxel remesh it. Let me go back. If I take this away, oh, I can take it away. Okay, good. So now can I just do these? Yes. Okay, so I don't know if this is actually going to work, but we're in the right ballpark. So I need to bring the middle up now. If I pull it up, is it still doing that? No, it's not. Okay, so I pull it up like that. Just trying to take a look at the size. The size actually looks pretty good. And it might help me if I actually turn these off, but turn this back to 7. And now let's see if I can do inflate, but reversed. Let's see if I can see where I'm going at. Make it look like it's, whoop, that's too much. Okay, that's not bad. Now if I can use move, I guess it doesn't really matter where I hit move. I'm just used to moving it at the right place. So I'm just using move to kind of make it a little bit more the shape I want. Okay, so for this bit, let's do post subdivision to 2 and then bring this down. Maybe we'll do the linear ones. Actually, we'll leave this. We'll leave that at, where did I go? Where did I leave it off? 27? That's fine. So now these are one piece. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to validate it. And then I want to use move. We'll use X and Z local because I just want to now curve this in. So I think if I push here, we can get it to sort of curve in, which is what we need. Okay, I think that's not bad. So now the top part, we can kind of adjust it, but the top part kind of like flops over, so we might have to just take move and maybe do that like manually, kind of make it a little more, oops. But I think that's pretty good, actually. Okay. Let's take the cape and move it down a little bit. We can go back to this, and then we can just use move again. And we can move all these little parts in. Like so. I think that looks pretty awesome, to be honest. So the only thing is there's so much neck here. There's not a lot here. So what I need to do is, what do I need to do? Is the question. I could make all of this smaller. Let's make this a little bit bigger so everything is a little more smooth and clean. So we'll make all of this smaller and then move it up. Okay. All right. This I might have made it a little thinner than it has to be. So we'll just kind of pull this out a bit. Okay, so maybe I'm going to turn this down now. Turn symmetry off and just pull these as I need them. Not too worried about it being symmetrical anymore. Okay, I just want it to look pretty. Okay. So I think that's usable. So now let's do a quick save. So we'll take the cape and the cape collar. This I'm gonna go here and just subdivide it just so they're both more of a closer resolution. I think that looks pretty good. I'm gonna take the gizmo and actually stretch this way. Move it down a bit. I think that's good. We'll take these two. I'm going to do another quick save and then voxel remesh them together. Maybe we'll do like 250. So I'll take smooth and we'll just kind of smooth this. But everything else really looks good, to be honest with you. So the placement is pretty good, and it actually, where it is on the body is not too bad. So obviously, let's take a look at the X-ray. Maybe I will, I'm going to leave the arms separate for now. I'm going to take the body with move, and I'm just going to bring that in some. Doesn't need to be out that far. The arms can also be moved. You're never going to see the shoulders, so I'm going to move those in. I can probably honestly just get rid of them, to be honest with you. Just trim them. But you know what? That's fine. I don't need to trim them. We'll take the other arm with move and just move that kind of within as well. We'll go back to X-ray and see what we see. We still see these arms, so we'll move them. We'll move them in like that. Okay. All right, so now we're just looking at, let's say the character is kind of like this. Everything looks pretty decent, to be honest. Okay, so the only thing we can do now is let's take the cape. Let's take Z off so we're not matching front and back. It's just left and right. But that's fine because I think we're just going to do the front first. So maybe the cape comes down some in the front. So we can just pull it down, maybe by the sides. You can turn symmetry off and do one side more than the other side, because obviously it's not really symmetrical, or it doesn't have to be symmetrical. The back looks like it's a little bit higher up. So you can do that. You can just like stretch it. They don't have to be, again, they don't have to be symmetrical. So that's when you can really like have fun with some of this stuff. They look really big in the back. Want to get this one going, you can just use the trusty old move tool. Let's push this down here. Whoop. Looks like we have to pull it from underneath. And then we can push it a little bit more. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I think I like it. I think I like it. So the only thing so now I'm wondering about these feet. Do I want to just have them like flat like that, like just round? Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe that's the way to go. Let's do legs and hips. Let's do a quick save and then voxel remesh them together. And we'll just do like 150. And just hope they don't touch. Nope, they don't touch there, because that would be horrible. That would be really ugly. So we have the symmetry going on, which we don't because they're not symmetrical. So I'm going to turn that off. Oh, you know what we should have done? We should have done the body along with it. Body, hips. We'll just do, we'll give it a little bit more. We'll do 160 this time, just so it doesn't feel left out. And then we'll smooth everything. Oh, this looks great. The bottom, oh, that's really soft. The bottom is really soft. Let's voxel remesh at like 250. Still kind of soft, but not too bad. Oh, let's turn off show line. So we don't have to look at the lines anymore. We don't really need them. So these look pretty good. If you want to do more of detail, you can do inflate without sub. And you can, like if you want to try to pull more detail here, you can do that. If you need, but honestly, like, I don't mind it. You can do crease if you really want to. That's the only thing that you might run into. And then you would just smooth it out to make it look nice and natural. And again, this part, why does it look so crazy up here? Can I smooth that? I'm just going to take move, and I want part of it to like kind of curl outwards. It appears to me like maybe this side, and then I'm going to push it in underneath to try and get that like curling out effect. Kind of like that. I don't care. I don't really need it to be that clean, like super clean. You can also use pinch, maybe to pinch this. Maybe that'll look, kind of clean that up a little bit. Since somewhere along the way it got kind of pockmarky. Or you can just leave it, really. It doesn't look terrible. And I honestly don't mind. I don't care that it doesn't look like super, super clean. If I was to print it, like, you would just smooth it anyway. Like, it looks pretty good. I'm going to smooth it just to keep it nice and soft a little bit. Just a tad bit soft. Okay, so now that I'm looking at the reference, the whole cape looks like it might be more like this. Maybe more like that. Maybe a little smaller. Okay. It's always nice to just do little adjustments. For the neck, whoops, the neck. Wait, what is that? Was that the arm, or is that the middle of the... Wait a minute. What is that? Where did that come from? Let's try layer. I mean, we could always just try to do a trim, but I'm not sure. I don't know what that is. Just, oh, there's a hole. You butt monkey. Trim, let's try this again. Maybe a little smaller this time. So maybe it'll just smooth down. I don't know why that happened. Oh, you know what? I know what it was. When I voxel remeshed the bottom part of the cape to the top part of the cape, I should have cut that off first. So that's my fault. Let's do clay and sub. Maybe I can just get rid of some of this. Just get rid of some of it manually. Good thing is it's like inside, so it doesn't really make that big of a difference. And then I'll just smooth it. No holes, so we're good. Okay, so we'll bring this back now. Okay. Does it look too small now? I think I like that bigger size. Looks nice. Okay, so the cape looks good. You can always use flatten if you have like these ridges and you want to change them up or something like that, you can always use flatten. And you can flatten them. That gives a nice effect. I feel like flatten always makes things like this look really nice and polished. I wasn't originally planning on going all the way around, but it's kind of addicting. And why not? That's the beautiful thing about being able to undo. If I don't like it, I'll just undo it. But I have a feeling that I'll like it. Okay, so the only other thing is I feel like I need maybe we'll try inflate with sub again. Some of these just need a little bit more definition. Could even use clay and sub, but that's a little trickier because that actually takes away some of the clay. But it's very similar to crease, what we're doing now, just adding these little details. And of course you can always do it the opposite way too, and just add some like, you know, like obviously this is like fabric, so there would be some other pulling and things happening. So it's always nice to just add like little details like this. You know, like it's not always going to be perfect. There's going to be other little parts of the fabric that are going to pull and things like that. Can make it a little smaller. Let's smooth and make sure they look good. Sometimes you add details and they wind up looking, they don't look like what you imagined. But I think this looks pretty good. And that's a good place for a crease, right in here. And it's just little details. These are the little details where people look and they don't necessarily think like, oh, like the person thought to do like these random creases here. Like, why would they think to do that? You know, like those are the kind of things that look like professional. But to be honest, it also helps because I am an artist, because I draw. So I've always drawn like clothes and things like that. If you draw clothes, you're inevitably going to learn how creases look and things like that look. So drawing is always beneficial for everything. It's going to be hard to make things look good if you're, you know, if the drawing isn't there, your drawing skills. So it's very, very important to always be, you know, to draw. I want to draw. Okay, I'm just going to smooth it because it looks a little busy now. So I'm just going to make it a little softer, but those details will still be there. Okay, great. So let's save. So now I really want to make some like cuts and rips in it too. So this is just a needle kind of thing. So let's figure out how we make this. I think I'm going to make it very similar to the other thing that we did. So I'm going to add am I going to add a cylinder? Let's solo it. Stretch it out. It's pretty long, I believe. Oh, and it's kind of roundish too. I think we can just go like this. And then I think we can just flatten it. Let's bring the post subdivision up to 2 and bring the division X down, not all the way to 4. I don't think. Maybe 6. I don't think I want to do linear at all. Or maybe I can smooth that though. Make this a little wider. I think. Okay, let's look at the front. Okay. Make it a little bit wider. Okay, so now we need to do this piece. So this is a torus on the bottom. We'll just do snap and snap it towards us. We'll move it down. Go to the options. We need to make it a bit fatter. Wait, where's the other? There it is. Okay, so something like that. And obviously we can just stretch this. Oh, should I do, let's see, how can I stretch it better so that it doesn't, I have an idea. Okay, so let's validate it. Symmetry, vertex, vertex. Symmetry is on Y instead of X. And I think I can pull, nope. Vertex, vertex, symmetry, this is that. Let's do local maybe. Nope. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? Let's change it to Z. Oh, I flipped it, didn't I? Let's change it to Z because I want to pull it down. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Will that work? Oh, it's a little better. I think that's good enough. I think that's good enough. I want to flatten it this way a little bit, I think. That's fine. Okay, so that's the shape that I would want. Oh, symmetry, we'll turn that back to auto, and now we should be able to move it down. And now let's do another cylinder. Move it down. We'll go to the cylinder options and put that up there. This down here. We'll make it thinner. Maybe something like that. Okay, so I think I want these to be... Let's use Gizmo and make it a little bit thinner this way. We'll go back to the Gizmo setting, or the cylinder settings. We'll bring that up there. This one is in there. That looks perfect. I feel like that's what it looks like. This might be a little bit too big. The cylinder and the torus might be a little too big, so we'll make it smaller. Let's bring back the cylinder. Remember, I'm in solo, so that's why I have to make sure that all these three are... That looks better. Although these can be a little bit smaller still. Oop. I want to still solo it. I just wanted these three. Okay, I feel like that's pretty close. Maybe we should take a look. It's very long. It looks very flat too. Okay, it looks very flat, but it's very long. It's probably as long as the character itself. So this might not be long enough. So I'll stretch this up a bit more. That might be a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm just going to do post subdivision up a little bit more on this, maybe twice. I'm going to validate, select mask, rectangle. So we'll get to about here. And then we'll stretch this down some and make it smaller to give it that kind of underneath look. Like so. And this, let's see how big these are. The torus I'm just going to subdivide. So we'll take these two. I'm going to do a quick save, and I think I'm just going to voxel. Oh, you know what? Let's just join them for now. It's easier to just join them. And I think that's long enough, to be honest with you. So let's unsolo it. So this is the needle blade, needle thread, thread the needle. I don't know, needle, whatever. All right, so we'll just do the blade for now. Let's clear the mask. Let's make it smaller. Bring this a little bit closer. And now we can kind of figure out where we want it. So let's turn snap off. Let's look at the size of it first. The size is actually not bad. It can be a little bit bigger maybe. And then this part looks like it should be longer. And the whole thing can be flatter. Okay, that feels a bit better. So now let's just try to, oh, I don't know if I can. So if that part is there, it's actually not bad. It's not terrible, to be honest. This bottom part could be a little bit longer, maybe. I don't know if I want it too long, actually. I'm gonna undo that. And I'm just gonna move the whole thing where I want it, where it looks good. So I'm gonna move it back some. So it'd be about here. It does look a little bit longer. You know what? Let's take this and separate. Oh no, I didn't mean to do face groups. Separate topology. This is the part that needs to be longer. So I'm just gonna stretch that out. Let's go in a little bit closer so you can see. So we'll put that there. We'll take this and we'll bring that out till about there. Okay. We can join these back up. And now we can just adjust. I think that's the optimal. I think that's optimal. So now if we look on the left side, we need to take both of them, move them back. maybe we want to offset it a bit. Okay, I think that works. I think I like the placement. From the front, it looks good. From this angle, it looks pretty good. You can't see much of it from this side. I think that's fine. Okay, so what I need to do is take this arm with the move tool and move it to where I want it to go. So that's there and behind it. Okay, I'm going to adjust this part of the arm too. And now this, oh, maybe I should, wait, did I turn it that way? I did turn it that way. Maybe I should turn this the other way. Let's take the pivot and move the pivot here. If we move the pivot there, then we can either, oops, we can either bring that arm to it, or we can bring this to this arm. Which I think I like better. If we undo, yeah. I almost wish I could rotate it a little bit more. But then, yeah, that angle will not probably look as good. So I'm going to change it just a little bit, like that. I think I like that. So let's take this arm, and we might even just be able to rotate it. So it's right behind it. Okay, so I'm going to take these two arms and join them together. Excuse me. So, I can't even really see any hands. But I'm curious if I just want to, if I want to like make some hands, or maybe just use like, I could just use drag and like kind of drag. They're black, so that kind of helps, but I want it to look like there's just like some semblance of a hand without it looking like that, which is absolutely crazy. Come on. Smooth this out. Even if it's just something like that, you know, like all I would need is like a thumb, to be honest with you. I mean, I might even be able to just like drag this. No, that looks weird. I don't think I can use inflate. Probably better off using a tube, to be honest with you. I know the character doesn't have, I don't think they have fingers, but I don't know. It's hard for me to, not give her some little graspers. I really have no idea what I want these thumbs to look like. Or even if I should like keep them. Whoops. Okay. And you know what I hate is like it keeps getting like a little bit like it keeps getting uglier. That's the only thing I don't like. You know, you try and move really small instead of drag. Because drag, there's like just too much movement. Now it might be good to like bend this some, but to just move it, I think move is probably the better option. I like it. Oops. Let's take drag and just, I want to take the feet and I want to drag a little bigger. How does that look? That looks okay. I like that. All right, let's save. Okay, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. The needle and thread. Why don't I think I already saved it. I want to voxel remesh these. Let's try 250. Ooh. Became really ugly. I guess I'll just join them. What if I voxel remesh it really high? Does that work? Alright, is this loose? Okay. So now, I just want to clean this up a little bit. We don't need this extra cape and this extra cylinder. So we can delete those. The hips is now the body. The arms and the body we can just join since they're all the same. Cape collar, needle blade is just needle. Eyes black. Okay, what is this mirror? Oh, that's the other head. That's right. Let's go ahead and delete that. All right, and now we can just save. Okay, so we're a little cleaned up. The only thing left to do now, of course, I'm going to bring this over into Blender, so I'm just going to bring the grid back. I don't know what I'm going to do on the bottom. I feel like I don't know why I want to call her a she. Is it a she? I guess it's a she. Oh, you know what? Now that I line this up, I guess it's the same. For a second, it looked like I needed to take the head and stretch it a bit more, but I actually think it's fine. But it is an option if you decide if you need to. That's the beauty in all this stuff, is you can make adjustments as you need. It's great. All right, so back to the grid. Let's add a cylinder. Let's make it bigger, flat, and maybe we want it round. So I'll do post subdivision to 2, and then I'll bring this down so it's a little more round. Maybe something like that. Do we want a linear one? We'll do a linear one. Can I bring this down more? What does that look like? Now we'll keep it at 24. That's fine. Okay, so now this, make it a little flatter. I'm going to line up with the bottom. This is the floor. We'll validate it. I'll bring it to the bottom. And then I'll take all of these, move them up. I think I want to move it over to here, I think. I kind of wish it was, I might want to make some, okay, let me play around with something. First, let me bring this up a little bit higher. I think I might be able to take the needle body and maybe rotate it. Let me move the pivot to the hips, the center of the hips. And I think I might want to just rotate it. Maybe move it over a pinch. Okay, I think that might look better. I want to make sure the neck is still, that's the only part that I want to make sure still makes sense. So let's just tap the body and move this over. Not too worried about it, but I don't want it to not make sense. So that looks better from here. Body and needle. That looks good. Take everything, move it over a smidge. I want to get it so it's in the middle, so when I do the turntable, it's spinning in the middle. Oy. Okay, front. What is that? I don't know what I just did. Okay. Gizmo. I want to take a look on the left side too and just see where everything is. I was also thinking I might want to bend everything forward. Like that. Let's take a look. I feel like that might be a little bit better. Okay. The legs look pretty good. Might need to move this one up a smidge, this one down a smidge. And now I can take everything and just move it up. Let me move the pivot so it's in the middle. Otherwise it just bugs me. So move it up a bit. All right, let's save this, turn the grid off. So now everything's in a nice spot. Turn X-ray off. So now I just want to bake everything. So when I bring it over, everything is in the right spot. Everything is baked, and there's no other information that's making the dreaded Nomad unskew. Bake. I don't really need to bake this, but I'll bake it anyway. Okay, I want to double check the neck. Okay, neck looks okay. So it looks like we're all good there. I'm going to save this view as well. So I'm going to add view and just name this 1. And then I'm going to save. All right, so let's... Oh, there's another thing that I was thinking about. These kind of things are a bit weird. I'm not sure what they are, but maybe you want to make... It'd be kind of nice if they were like glowing or something. Like glowing little like tubes or something. So let's just use path. And let's just make... Maybe we'll make a bunch of them. They have to be small though, so they're kind of just like little like noodly things. So we'll do post subdivision to 2. We'll do the linear 1, and then we'll bring this down as small as we can go. Maybe we don't want linear. Okay, maybe that's good. What happens if we make this bigger? I think that works. So 170 is fine. Let's validate it. I wonder if quad remesher can get this smaller. Let's turn on the wireframe so we can see, and let's see if we can get it even smaller than that. 200. Oh no, we'll go back to 200. I'll take it. All right, so now let's just take move, and let's just make this a little bit more random. Whoop. What was that? Don't understand. Where is this thing? Let's turn the wireframe off, and let's bring this thing back to where it should be. Okay, so take this tube. This is going to be tubies. We'll do a quick save, and then we can just take this and clone, and we can just make a bunch of them. Let's do pivot, auto pivot, and then let's just make a bunch of them. You can kind of rotate them, but for now we're just going to make a bunch. There's probably like some sort of way that you can do this better and easier, but I don't know it. Okay, let's take all of these, clone, 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 okay. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of move them around a little quicker, maybe rotate some. Okay, so obviously you can make as many or as little as you want of these like weird things, but I figure why not? There's some in the reference, so why not make some weird little things since we have the time. Okay, just add a few to make it look like they're not all. I think it's okay if there's some that are like touching. It makes it look kind of better. Okay, so now we have a bunch of these. Okay, we'll join them all. Trim the bottoms. Whoops. Okay, so now we have just these random little things, and I think we can use move. I think you can like move them individually with move. If you wanted to, make some like taller or some shorter. But, you know, if you want to move them, you can just use the move tool and move some of them individually. Maybe you want some like bend it out, fold it out. I guess this should be like a rock or something though, you know? Like it should be like some sort of stone. I feel like would be better. If I add a sphere. Let's hide the floor for now. We'll validate it, and then maybe we'll take like flatten. Well, maybe first we'll take drag. And we'll just sort of make sure that it fits. And maybe we'll take some clay. We'll turn symmetry off so it's not symmetrical. We'll take some clay. And flatten. Okay, we'll kind of smooth it a bit. And then we can take pinch and we can really get some sharp edges. To try to make it look more like a rock. Okay, so now it looks more rocky. And if you really want to add a little something, you can always use crease. Smooth it a little bit just so it looks a little bit more natural. And then it can look more like a rock or a stone. Okay, and her feet are in there, so it actually doesn't look too bad. I'm going to delete that. The tubies. What is the sphere? Oh, this is the rock. I'm going to go ahead and bake this. I'll bake the tubies too. And we'll take our character and just move her up, or move it up, or him up. Doesn't really matter. And then we'll save it. Okay, nice. So now let's color it in. So let's change from matte cap back to lit PBR. This is white. We'll paint that white. Obviously that's black. We already took care of that. This is red. Let's move this so I can actually see the reference. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do the lighting first. Let's do the lighting first. Let's color everything. Like, my favorite is the terracotta color. That can stay black. Okay, so we have our terracotta color. I'm going to turn on post-process and turn this all the way up. Oh, that's odd. Oh, let me put it on DFD. So it is my settings. Oh, what happened? Wait, that's not DFD. That's so odd that this is like much different than it usually is. This is usually up. Maybe around there or so. That looks right. That looks right. Okay, everything else is right. All right, so now we'll turn our environment off. We'll add a light. Let's bring this up to 2.5 or so. Okay, our line is on. I'm going to move this light up here. And this is going to be our key light. So let's just tap here and do key. Tap here and do camera. We'll clone it. This one will be the edge. Okay. So now this one is just going to be on this side, but we're going to rotate it until we get that nice edge. Ooh, that's beautiful. Let's raise the intensity so we get a little bit more on that. And what color do we want to make this? Ooh, let's make it that like nice blue. Okay, so now we can take this and clone it, and let's name this R2. And this is just going to be a light on the other side. Not quite an edge, but similar. Let's make this one a bit more warm. Oh, I think I like that. That's kind of nice. Okay, we do have one more light, but honestly, I think this looks fine. We'll add our environment back and we'll just lower it. Sometimes I make the environment so low. I think I'm going to try there. Okay, so there is another light we can use, but let's use it. Let's call this D2. Let's try just another random light. Let's try a point light. Ooh, that actually looks kind of cool. It's kind of cool, like a glowing point light. It's kind of spooky. Let's turn the intensity down. I think I like over here. And I like it that it's kind of warm. It's kind of interesting. I like it. So we'll see if we keep it. We'll see what we think. So I'm going to do a quick save. And I want to change these to, I usually do it at the end, but I really want to have a version of just this. So I want to also change the material to subsurface, but I want to turn it down a little bit. If it's up, then it's too much see-through. So this is kind of give it the subsurface, like when you put a flashlight to your fingers. Like, so that's subsurface scattering. So that's what it's doing. There is really intense, but like here, for example, you can't really see. Like there you can see a little bit, so that's less intense. This is very intense. So we only want it like maybe like this. Just a little bit. So okay, so that's oh, there's the eyes. We don't need it for the eyes though. That's dumb. Wait, the eyes? Is that really? Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh, this is the head. Okay, no, that was correct. This is the head. I was so confused. So that's the head. So we do want subsurface. The cape, subsurface. Okay, maybe we can do it a little bit more. The body, I think the body's fine. Let's do it for these little guys. Do subsurface, even though I don't know what they are. And the rock doesn't need any, I don't think. All right, so let's save that. And this looks beautiful, so I'm going to hide this. And then I'm going to save as another view, add view. I'll save this as 2. Okay, I'm going to do another save. And then I'm going to export this. I feel like there's not enough something. I need some more shadow in there. Okay, I like that a little bit better. At this point, I'm just constantly saving. So now I want to export this screen, transparent background. I might add the video. Maybe I'll make. I don't know if I want to do the Blender one. They don't do too well, to be honest with you. They don't do very well. So sometimes it's just like, I don't take the time to do them because they don't really do well. I want to hide these and just export this. There's probably some other cool lighting I can probably do. I might do one other lighting thing with this. I love that. Save image. So for example, if I wanted to do like, hide these, take this light, change it into, point light is kind of cool, actually. That's kind of cool. I was going to do directional, camera, turn the intensity up. Something like that. Or something from below. I like that. Okay. That looks kind of cool too, to be honest. Ooh, that looks really pretty. Yeah. Sorry, I get dumb excited sometimes. Too excited sometimes. I feel like this might actually look better if it was a spotlight. It's kind of cool, not gonna lie. This maybe need to be a warmer color. Maybe not that. Maybe oh, the orange isn't bad. Maybe it's just a little too intense. That looks really pretty. Alright, so I'm going to export this as well. Just for funsies. Come on. There we go. Okay, we'll save. And I wonder where I saved it. Oh, I think I have to discard autosave. How do I do that? Okay, so we're back here. Let me just check everything. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. I'm just going to save this again. So now let's just color it. So, the head. White. Whoops. Paint all. The cape is reddish. Let me bring the reference back. Right around there. Looks good. Maybe a little more roughness. The body, of course, is black. Rough, but you want a little, you don't want it too rough because then you won't be able to see the highlights. So maybe like there. And then this is maybe a silverish, but it's like a light blue silverish. Actually, this looks like it's a more purple. It's more that color, silverish. We'll bring the roughness down, maybe the metalness up a bit. Paint. I think we want some roughness. So we'll leave that there. And then the rock. Maybe like silverish, but not that much metalness. Darker. More rough. Maybe a smidge of metalness. And then these are going to be light, but like bluish. We'll clone these and we'll change it to additive, always unlit. Put the opacity down some so you can still see, like, so you can still differentiate. All right, cool. How does it look with that? Oh, in order for them to really shine, we need to go to post-process, and add bloom. Okay, so the rock number 1 can be not as, maybe more roughness, so the rock isn't like glaring so much. And then these need to be a little bit higher opacity to make them glow more. Okay, well, they're kind of glowing, but I have to take the mask, if that's the case, go like this and make it rougher, more rough, so that it's not glowing so much. Oh, and this light, let me lower the intensity of this light. Okay, nice. I think it's kind of cool. I'm digging it. Let's hide the light icons for now. Actually, I think they'll go away when we do a turntable. So let's save as, and we can save this as a new one. Let's export this. Since I have glare, I think I have to export the background too, or else the glare will look weird. So I'll just not do a transparent background. Do I want to put a different color background? I'll just keep it as it is. And then after this, I might go back a few steps to take off the glare. That way I can just do a regular export of this, and then I can do a turntable. Oh no. Forgot to do that. And I might do the turntable with this. That's actually not a bad idea. I don't mind the glare, actually. I think I want to make these a little more see-through though, or something. Right? That might look cool. Save image, done. Let's see. If I change this to blending. Let's take these away. That's a little weird, huh? It's kind of interesting. What about dithering? Ooh, dithering is pretty. I like it. Let me take bloom and turn it off and see what happens. I'll put the threshold up a bit. I'll buy that. All right, so let's save and let's do a turntable. Oh no. Just what I was afraid of. There we go. There we go. All right, so that looks pretty cool. The lights are a little bright. I might actually just turn off bloom because it looks too crazy. Let's see. Perfect. I love it. Oh, nope. I see a mistake. I see a mistake. Move. Okay, so now let me put this back. Now we'll save. And then I'll go like this, and I'm actually going to record this one. And this is the one you'll see in the video. Alright, so that's it. That's my Hornet. Really fun sculpt. Hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Also be sure to check out my Skillshare. That is how I keep everything going. I just do everything a lot more edited, and it's just a lot more streamlined place to learn. But thank you for watching. Keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video, even though I'm still gonna put up my outro. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to go more in depth, then definitely check out my Skillshare classes where I am a top teacher. I have about 50 classes, both Procreate and Nomad Sculpt. I also have a few classes on Udemy, so if you want to learn more, or you just like my style, you like the way I teach, you want to support me, those are some other places that you can do it. Thanks again, keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video.